It's Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. Let's talk about the news. From Reuters, El Salvador says murders fell 70% in 2023 as it cracked down on gangs. New figures released by the El Salvadoran government last week indicate that the number of homicides in the country fell to 154 from 495 in 2022, a decrease of nearly 70%. That drop is even starker when compared to the more than 1,000 people who were killed in the country in 2021 and 2020, and the more than 2,000 in 2019. El Salvador has long suffered from gang-related violence fueled by extortion and drugs, and President Bukele's multi-year crackdown on gang members has led to the arrest of almost 75,000 people and has been incredibly popular with citizens, though international rights groups have criticized it for allegedly leading to hundreds of deaths, thousands of instances of human rights abuse, and allegedly serving as cover for the arrest and harassment of political opponents. From Axios, Congress strikes deal on 2024 spending. Over the weekend, senators and House representatives from both major parties came to a high-level agreement about funding for the U.S. government through the end of 2024, increasing the likelihood they'll be able to avoid a government shutdown beginning mid-January and escalating in early February. There are still hurdles to leap as Congress has to make deals on each of 12 annual spending bills, basically carving up the $1.59 trillion budget, most of which will go to defense spending, and the rest of the funding going to every other aspect of the government. And there are quite a few Republican lawmakers who are not keen on the agreement, as it doesn't include the severe budget cuts some members of the party have been calling for. And from the New York Times, after New Rocket's successful launch, a U.S. moon lander faces problems. Celebration over the successful launch of a moon-bound robotic spacecraft has been tempered by reports of orientation problems shortly after the separation and powering on phases of the mission. The team behind the craft, which is called Peregrine, is aiming to perform the first American soft landing on the moon since 1972, has said it's monitoring the situation and will provide updates as they know more, but the concern is that this issue could prevent the craft from pointing its solar array at the sun, which would leave it without enough power to function as intended. This is just the first of several moon landings being attempted by U.S. government-funded American corporations in 2024 and is part of a larger international wave of spacecraft aimed at the moon in what is being called a modern space race. If you're finding some value in one-sentence news, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and/or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com. And you can support this and other related projects, like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.